What up, guys and girls? Another brand new video coming at you today, and we are back for a bit more league racing action. This is SRL. Here's the driver standings on your screen. I'm currently sitting in P13. McLaren is still P5 in the constructors. Force India still lead the way, and Ryan still leads the championship. But yeah, for here for round 7, that was a little bit of an awkward moment coming out of the pit lane. Now, fortunately, there is a good reason as we just hit the wall coming out of the pit lane. But fortunately, HO disconnected during this, so really unfortunate for HO. I think he did reconnect later on, but yeah, we're here for SRL APAC. If you haven't already gathered, we're around 7 of the championship here in Austria. And I like Austria. It has really good memories. As of course, having my first league race win here. Back in ASR days, but back in the McLaren, yeah, let's see what we can do here. Hopefully, after the last round in Canada where I lost connection and I was in a good position to get a good result as well, it was, yeah, it felt pretty gutting, but coming across the line. First lap, 1 minute 6.6. It puts us P3 for the time being. Coming through to turn 1. Spread a little bit too wide and actually invalidated my lap time. That was Conrad. I'm not sure whether he actually had a spin or whether he was just getting out of the road, but that pretty much invalidated my lap time and put me back. I decided to basically bail out of it and come back into the pits anyway. So there's another casualty here at turn 1, and just the exit curb, I think. It catches a lot of guys out around here. That's Penske's on board. Thankfully, it is only the first lap. He is on the super soft tyres, so he might be going for another run here, maybe. But you can just see now we're just taking out the fuel and putting on another set of ultra soft tyres. Now, you'll be able to see here in a minute the timing sectors. So Death Bro currently leads Matt and Neon and myself, but there are a few guys like Ben and Ryan are 5th and 6th, Warden in 9th. I've since found out sort of thing, and Jared's way down the order and Zombie again. They were sort of, they weren't really setting the world alight at this stage, and there is a valid reason for that, because there is forecast of some rain again for this race, so it's going to throw another element into the mixture here. And as you can see here, just going on my second run here, you can probably tell from the graphic on the top left that Ben is on the super soft tyres. So just like Canada, really, he's going for the complete opposite strategy here, but on the second run here, went great on the Delta time. Actually went in at the fastest first sector, as you can tell from the purple graphic there. Coming through here, well, it was like about point 158, but unfortunately got my lap time invalidated again. And I thought at this point in time, I'm not the only one that's going to be out there on ultra softs. There's like a few other guys. Let me make that clearer. People are going onto the super softs, and well, I mean, it was still an option maybe to go on the ultra softs. I think Neon probably was the other one that wanted to stay on the ultra softs and maybe get a pole position. But you know, looking at the further on later in the race, you could say that the super softs may help. So still got a bit 2 minutes to go here, so it's not the end of the world here. Again, I really must apologise for my voice. It's not been the best in recent times. Excuse me, but here we go. We're setting off now for my what is going to be my final lap of this qualifying session. Quite a good run here. A little bit of oversteer coming out of the exit at turn 1, and now coming down this long front. What do we call this corner straight here? That actually went purple in sector 1 and had the fastest first sector as well. So that really surprised me here. I thought maybe this might be a chance to maybe improve my position that I was in a great position last week. Now into turn 3. It felt like a nice run through here. Now sizing up into turn 4 now. Maybe turn in early, but as you You see here, just went on the power maybe a bit too early. I caught out on the curb, just pretty much like Ben did last season in SRL around here. So, and that's pretty much just ruined my lap. But thankfully, the ghosting system works because ghosted through Matt and I can't remember who the other one was, but that's Conrad going by. So basically, I thought I may as well just retire from the race. But when you retire, your car doesn't quite ghost here, as you'll be able to see on board with Ben. And unfortunately, it put him off and on his final run and invalidated his lap time, which he should have been higher up on the list. But yeah, I did apologise to Ben afterwards. I mean, I thought I was in the wrong, but I didn't think I was in the wrong to start with, but I was in the wrong in the end. But Warden gets pole. He's on the Super Softs, but a few guys are actually caught out on their Super Softs run, including New Zealand Ryan, who's down in 10th. That's very surprising there. We're coming into the race strategy. Like I said, the rain is definitely going to be upon us later on in the race, so it was just a case of what to do here. I just lowered the front wing as much as I could here. I did a few setup changes actually, just to counter, just in case for the wet weather. There may be a few surprises. My teammate up there in P5, but setting off on the formation lap already. Yeah, the usual kerfuffle going on around here, and there will be a few disqualifications already. And surprisingly, the first two names I think were Zombie, I think, and Penske was the other one. I think exit owner as well. So, but just ran a little bit wide there coming out of turn 3. There's a nice ghosting system going through Ben there, and Matt going through me. That probably sounds a little bit awkward when I say it, but forgive me, it is the way it is. But we're all set for round 7 of SRL. 5 red lights. Let's do it around Austria, and it's a pretty good start compared to my teammate. Got a little bit caught out with him not having the greatest starts. Go down the inside. Look at Ben going dead down the inside. Get caught up with Death Bro, and I think Jared was the other one. There's more chaos going through there, and unfortunately, I've got caught up with that's LSEM Iron Toucan. Again, formerly Ruth Nick Bird, but now I've got a bit of front wing damage, so going very late up the inside here. Gave Ben a little bit of a touch there and pulse of the win. Now Toucan squeezes him out. Here comes New Zealand Ryan. They're going to go 3 wide here going down the back straight here. This is not going to really work out here, so I back out of it here. But Iron Toucan went way too deep there, and I think may have given Ryan a bit of damage coming through there. Yeah, I hope my voice stays for the remainder of this race, but Iron Toucan now runs a little bit wide amount of 4. I hope that is turn 4 anyway, but now 5. And into 6 now. We just managed to get ahead of him. Ryan is putting a lot of pressure already on Iron Toucan. But at the current stage, I didn't think about pitting, but as you can see there, a couple of warning there and went well and truly wide coming out of the final couple of corners there. I didn't think about pitting earlier on, but then that was my second warning there early on this race. I thought maybe let's just see how the front wing goes here, and maybe see whether we can get to whenever the wet weather arrives, I suppose. But it just got to a stage where it nearly got undrivable, and there's my first 3-second time penalty. It hasn't even finished like 2 laps, and now Matt sets the fast lap of the race. Actually got 2 warnings in the space of a couple of corners there, so really not the best of starts. But at this point, I was just not comfortable with the damage to the front wing, so I let Exodona go through here and take it nice and cautiously into the pit lane here around Austria. And it's going to be interesting to see where I pop out in the next group of guys that are pitted already. So I think possibly the next best is New Zealand Ryan. So here we go, going to change the front wing. I was tempted, a bit tempted to see what tyres to go on, whether the Super Softs or the Softs. In the end, I went for the Super Softs. I thought they may be a little bit quicker than the guys that are on the Softs, but it was a gamble worth taking anyway, as we just exit the pit lane right now, and be able to take it nice and cautiously through here, not do what Ben did last season, get a little sideways coming out of that the pit lane, and managed to get ahead of New Zealand Ryan. So Here you go, the replays from the start on board with neontreedome. It was a nice, very nice start there. The top two actually managed to avoid all the chaos that ensured behind. But Neon really showing some good pace already. Now, he was one of the ones that was pretty much staying with the ultra soft tyres. I think he was really keen to get a pole position. But Warden's quickly starting to pull away here. There's a replay with my teammate. Get a little bit more wheel spin compared to me. Death Bro covers that inside line there, but here comes Ben up the inside. And then it pushes, shoves, and Jared goes a bit wide as well. Matt has to go wide again. There's already chaos going on here. But now Matt just pulls ahead of Ben for the current moment. Coming into turn 2, Ben has a look. So Matt holds on for the time being, and up into P4 he goes. So there's be some good points from McLaren again. If he can hold on to this position, here's DRC Jarrett's start. Lovely jump there compared to Death Bro. Think about going up the inside, but that is when he get the tag there and managed to avoid chaos for the first time in a long while, does Jarrett. So that's a first, and as on board with Penske, and a lot of wheel spin up the start. Maybe got a little bit put off by Exodona there, and into turn 1. Going around the outside of New Zealand Ryan, and I think that was one of the Saubers, because we did have a new driver that weekend in the form of, I think, Aussie Gamers 275. I think may have dived it straight up the inside of New Zealand Ryan, and it didn't really work out. Probably didn't have enough. Renault Penske up the inside he goes there at Exodona. He's got any good drive here. There's a bit of contact between those two. It's going to be a case of who's going to outbrake themselves first into turn 3. Exodona's still holding on there, but he's on the wrong side. I think lag's involved here. It's a Zombie Hunter in front. Again, lag's a big factor here. So Penske had to get on the grass. There's contact between these two. And that allows HO, who I did say did return to the lobby after disconnecting. It's a lovely start here from New Zealand Ryan, who's already getting past Pomps to the win. There's myself up there. Be able to see, yeah, that is the Sauber that pretty much goes up the inside there. So Ryan's already copped a bit of front wing damage already. It's only lap 1. But knowing Ryan, he'll always have a plan to make a comeback. Make a comeback through the field as always. But you see here just going 3 wide, plenty of drive in that Force India. We're going 3 wide there. I think Pomps bailed out of it going into the corner, but Iron Toucan were way too deep and just made Ryan's front wing even more worse. So I might explain why he was struggling earlier on. And this was Ryan putting more pressure on Iron Toucan, but just covers the inside line there, and there's Exodona laggy. But both these guys have actually had to come in, and they've both copped damage, I think. So into the lane they both come. I don't think they're the only ones. There's another couple behind, I think. One of the Ferrari gang is getting ready, but here we go, change the front wing, going for the soft tyres is Ryan. Just has to wait a long time, doesn't he, this Ryan? But here's a replay from HO. Now that's Aussie Gamer to the right. Like I said, he's the new boy in the sport. That's Conrad getting caught up a little bit with Exodona. The HO did get caught up in that as well, so he's copped a tiny bit of front wing damage, but may be able to survive that. Who knows? We'll wait and see. But this is Zombie Hunter making his way around the outside. He was coming into the pit lane, but oh no, it's the tangle there with him and HO. I think Zombie was trying to redress that situation, but fortunately, I think it reset HO back onto the racetrack. So it's a very awkward moment, isn't it? But Zombie came in anyway. He was way down the field again, so putting on another set of super soft tyres and the front wing. And away he goes. But here's the replay from HO. You see there, HO just thought it was just going normally, but yeah. That's a very late call from Zombie. I assume he will get a penalty for that after the race, but now cutting on to lap 5, you can tell HO's really pushing on in the early stages of this race. I think it may have come in and put another front wing on. Actually copped our can't remember whether it was at the 4th or 5th warning, but Exodona had a little spin there in front of Penske there. It was an easy move for Penske, but like I said, in the lap later, HO does it again with another fastest lap, so he's banging our fastest laps here. Here's Ben putting up an inside of Matt. He might have been, like he said in his video, he may have been a little bit spooked there, but gets the move done in the P4s, but still on board with us. That's, I've lost track what it is, warning number 5, I believe, so. But now on to lap 8 we go, and you'll be able to see in a minute, there's the first spots of rain. So I don't know whether that was good signs for both the softs or the super soft runners, but here's Jared revving the engine limiter out of this car, making a move up the inside here of neontreedome. Still going to go side by side here, going down the back straight here. Up into turn 3, who's going to blink first? Jared's really using all that limiter there. I will point out, Jared, if you're watching this video, you can use all the 8 gears. You don't have to just set off with the 7 gears. I mean, yes, they were in the older cars, but not in the newer cars. You can use them in use 8 gears, but it's just the speed's starting to get a little bit heavier now, and the gap was starting to drop a little bit with Ryan behind. He was starting to gain a bit more, but now Ben putting pressure on neontreedome, who's probably going to be starting to struggle on those ultra soft tyres, and I think Jared's probably the other one that'll struggle. Warden has definitely pulled away by a long way, I think, so there's a fair gap behind, and you can to lap 9 going very wide there. The wet weather was starting to feel the effects of the wet weather actually, and just keeping my eyes behind here on Ryan, because I didn't know what he was going to do, but just taking extra cautiously through here. That proximity arrow of Ryan's is getting a little bit closer here. They're just heading up into turn 2 now, doing everything normally wise, but just they have a big lock up, whether the weather conditions had anything to do with it or not, but that's just handed Ryan a spot, an easy spot in the platter really. But I think maybe the weather's starting to really turn now. You should be able to see in this next corner here, go very, very wide here. I think Ryan may have had a little moment as well, I'm not really too sure. But now Ben, Jared getting really sideways there from the rear, so he'll be definitely feeling the effects of rear tyre wear now. But coming through turn 1 now, Ben coming very close now, and Jared gets caught on the curb.
Like literally 5 seconds later,
Let's have a look at it, a replay. You cannot touch these curbs in the wet weather, and he's been caught out. Somehow managed to just get away with not even touching the wall at all. How he got away with that, I've no idea. Without any damage, so God, that was lucky. And here's Exodona, he's lost his front wing, so he's had to come in. But really still trying to push on here, trying to catch up to, I think, Ryan, who's starting to really pull away now. Under lap 11 we go, and it's just a case of when to put on the inters, but you can see now it's probably getting closer. Going through that corner, it was really starting to struggle here, and just that big lock up into turn 3, and I'm gone well and truly off now. So I think the weather started to really turn now as HO. There's another easy spot for him there. But I think a few other guys will be starting to make their way in. I think, I know I'm a lap too early yet, we'll wait and see, but just see how much I'm really struggling. I'm not really keen on the wet weather. I mean, once I get my head around it, just getting a bit sideways now, but it's just really struggling with the dry tyres on a bit of a wet track here. So again, through turn 3, just running it wide again. So I could not cope as my teammates now in the lane, and I thought, may as well, it is probably about time. And just as that happened, DRS was disabled, so it's probably about the right time to change onto the inters. So here comes Ben onto the inters. He goes. Warden did come in as well at the same time, so both of them on the inters. Here comes Penske. He had to wait a little bit because I think a Pomps of the Wind came in earlier, so that'd be why he's had to come in. He's had a little slow pit stop, but just look at there's just no grip on these dry tyres whatsoever. So I'm just taking it extra cautiously here. I'm going to dive it into the pit lane. So cautious through here. Don't want to bin it going into the pit lane, but just lock it up big time and just get it down into the lane now. So I think most of the guys are starting to go on inters. I think that might have been HO, but I had to wait a little bit. Not too long. I think that was Iron Toucan, I think, in the Toro Rosso. So that's Zombie right behind us now. So currently dropped all the way back to about P11, which will be a bit lesser, I think. Again, taking it cautiously to the pit lane. That's Exodona there, so he's jumped us. So that puts us back to P12, but now a bit further on, this is a replay of neontreedome catching up to Aussie Gamer, who is a lapped car. So he's trying everything he can to get past him, but going, oh, that's a big moment. Really big moment. Again, the desync was involved, but no, it's just made... Oh, Neon. And that's just allowed Pulsar to win, I think, to go up the inside there. And he was really looking on track to get a podium there, but you could just tell I was just weaving the tyres, just trying to get a bit of warmth in them. And I think Exodona's not really coping well on these wet weather conditions. You can just see it, look at him, he's just got on the curve a little bit too much here coming out of 6. Now got a bit of a run here, but decided against it up into 7. Taking it nice and cautiously through here. Now through the final corner. But again, the curve gets it caught out. A little bit of dirty air maybe for myself, but it's now brought Zombie into the battle here as well. We might have a look here up the inside into turn 1. No, decides against it for the now. Exodona ran wide and not the greatest of runs from himself. Now Zombie probably have a bit of a run here going into this last second corner here. Running a little bit wide, but just have a bit more traction compared to Zombie as well. So as a replay with Jared, who's starting to put pressure on a teammate, and neontreedome is probably struggling with that front wing damage, and there was a bit of a bump between those two. Now going up the inside goes, and Matt got Neon, and Jared gets Neon. All traffic being affected as well. Aussie Gamers there again. Big gets seen out coming through here. Exodona again having a bit of a moment. That's a really big moment again. I think he had the red cross there to coincide with the desync, but just biding my time, hoping he made a mistake, and right on cue, there you go. Makes a mistake on the final corner. Probably get the good run here. Nearly pushing us up to the pit wall there. Just try and brake early as we can. Go up the inside, give it a little push. See if we can still hang it around the inside there. Zombie's not going to... Zombie's involved in this, I should say. My apologies. But now I think we got Exodona. Now Zombie, he pushed wide. And Exodona's out-braked himself there. And now we've got the spot now up in the P11. Next up, I think, is Penske, possibly. I'm not sure. But here's Jared again, putting pressure on my teammate. Looking out the inside into the second last corner. Not quite. Matt runs a little bit wide here. There's a little more contact. He's going to have to see if he can get a good run here coming out of the final corner. Actually gets a much better run compared to Matt. And I think he got some move done there. We don't have much footage from that otherwise. But here's Penske just letting Ryan go through. I think he knows that Ryan is a lot more quicker on these tyres. And there's Conrad going up the inside here in the second last corner, but overshoots just a little bit. Penske don't go up the inside here. May just hang on for the time being. Still going to go side by side here down the front straight. Not sure exactly. I think Penske came in on lap 13. Not sure exactly when Conrad came in. They're going right around the outside. It's a little bit of a bump and run here, but they're still going side by side, these two. How are these two not tangled yet? But now Penske has a bit more momentum into turn 2. Conrad tried to outbrake himself. There's more contact between these two. And it's still going up into probably in the next passing spot will be turn 3. So it is still going, and apologies for the audio being out of sync on Penske's videos. It's just a weird one, but now he gets the move done finally. Holding off Conrad there. Now on to lap 17 we go. Still holding off Zombie Hunter for the time being, and still getting good drives out of the corner. You can just see the proximity arrow getting closer and then pulling away, but have a big lock up coming into turn 3. Just didn't really help my momentum there. We did have a difference in the downforce side of things. I think he was running a lot more higher wings as we run wide going into turn 2. Now allowed Zombie to have a good run, but again, we have much better traction compared to he does, so I was a bit surprised at that, but again, cautiously and run very wide out there at turn 3, so there'll be a lot of that. He was running a bit more higher wings, I think. I think it was like probably about 5 or something on the front wing, but he's HO coming up to the lap car of Aussie Gamer. He's going to look here at the inside, not quite. He probably should give him room to, should Aussie Gamer, but now he gets by him now into turn 5 and 6, but lap 22, nothing really happened, but though nearly got rear-ended there by Zombie, who massively outbroke himself there. That gave us a little bit of a breathing room, but as now Death Bros, the first one I think to retire from this race, so been a long while. Now there's Exodona off there as well, but now cut to lap 23, we're starting to catch up to Aussie Gamer, and he actually lets us through with no hold-ups. I think he let Zombie through as well, but this was when I thought there was going to be a change of strategy. Was going to be onto the wet tyres, but it was just nothing, so I had to cut back out of the pit lane, and got another penalty up my sleeve. So I really thought that it was an opportunity, but I think Conrad came in as well, and I think neontreedome also came in for wet. So you can just see the track's really starting to get more wetter now, as Jared has another great run coming out of 6. Not quite enough up the inside of Poms. This is sort of a battle for the podium, effectively. Let's see what Jared's got here under turn 1. A bit more dry. He's going to have to do it around the long way. I think Poms covers the inside line. Can he hold it, Poms? Jared has to hold back, but tries to get a good run. Actually, has a much better run, actually. So now the tyre wear for him is really struggling for him, but now he should have it done here. Can he hold it? Yes, he can. Now up into what will be P3, I think, but you just still struggling here on his set of inters. It's getting real close to the wet weather conditions now, so, but I was still feeling comfortable at this stage. I don't know exactly when this heavy rain band will pass, whether it will or not, as we run by to turn 1. But yeah, just kept getting a lot of strategy changes, which was basically just to stay out, and it was really starting to bug me a lot, because I was just hoping it would come up saying like change to wet tyres now. It might have a better strategy, but it just would not happen. Another oversteering moment out of turn 6. And out of the final corner, as you could tell there, but was starting to slowly gain up on Penske there, with the rears were starting to feel their wear as well. Coming now, starting lap 28, I think Zombie's now decided to bail out and put on the wet tyres, but now putting a lot of pressure here on Penske for position 9. We are battling hard in this championship. He's actually, I know the graphics said I'm 2 points behind him, but we should be equal on points. There's some glitch there with the table in SRL. Someone actually took out the 150 and the 100 metre boards, whether that was from the first lap or later on. But Penske did not have the greatest of runs coming out of turn 3 there. They're going to have a bit of a run here. Trying to go around the outside, hoping he made a mistake, but no, he pretty much holds his ground for the time being. Still getting that change viable strategy thingo, which at this point was probably really starting to bug me, but the weather is really starting to turn for the worse now. And now the blue flags are starting to be shown now, because Warden is not far behind here. He's going to lap both of us in a minute. Just so cautious through here. I was so tempted as well to maybe stay out on the inters, because I think Penske would have done the same thing, but now the leaders are pretty much caught up. So Warden will go through and lap myself, and now I've actually let neontreedome as well. I'm not sure what the weed was for. I think that was like a thank you message, but he was showing really quick pace in these on these wet tyres. So I dare say anybody on the wets would be really starting to feel a lot more tyres, you know, more grip, as Jared comes in for another set of inters. So he couldn't quite make it on those other set, but back we go to us. You see now Warden lapping Penske now, and Neon's really all over the back of him here. So I think the top guys are pretty much going to stick it out here on the inters, and still getting that damn changing strategy change shit, whatever it is. But he's looking to run. Oh, Penske's wide. He had a moment coming out of turn 3. Now we've gained a spot there because of it. So you see on the replay here, that's Neon up the inside there. Didn't really get any touches whatsoever. So I think he just went on the power a little bit too early there. Lost a spot, and actually lost 2 spots actually to both me and Conrad, because Conrad is on the wets as well. But this was a great battle. This will be great on boards with Neon. You can see Warden up the inside of Penske here. These two are going to go side by side. Warden doesn't really want to let Neon go through, because Neon is a lapped car as well. So he's hoping to gain his lap back here. Coming into turn 3. They just have enough space just. But nice move there from Neon, and obviously Penske completely buggered up that corner. But here's a replay with Ben, who's now being passed by his teammate, who is another one who's, well, most of us are pretty much nearly lapped. So he's Zombie's 12th in the wets, and he's got plenty of pace on those tyres. Now I've decided in the end, they may as well bail out and put on the wet weather tyres. It was a nice slide into the pit lane, but I wasn't really sure whether it was worth it to stick it out on the inters or not, because the weather really turned, as I said earlier. So, but now putting on the wet tyres, and away we go. So now let's just see what we've got here grip-wise compared to the other guys in front. Going to be very interesting later on in the race. I did change the downforce as well. I did put it to like 3 for the front wing for the inters, and about 4 maybe for the wets, just to have a bit more turning power. But here's Penske getting under attack here from Zombie Hunter. You know, of the inside here, there's a bit of contact between these two. Penske's not quite done yet. He's had to run wide there. How he didn't get a bunny hop or anything, I've no idea. But Zombie has a shocking run coming out of the final corner, and he should get this done, and yes, he does get it back to Penske. But Zombie going right around the outside here. Might have to do really the crisscross here, but oh no, there's not much grip there. There's still banging wheels here, these two. This is not going to end well. These two are teammates in AOR, so they always seem to collide in other leagues besides AOR. I don't know how they do it, but Penske just holds on for the time being. Now cutting on to lap 33. You can see we're now starting to catch up to Ben, Timo Mardik. Is probably starting to feel those tyre wear on his inters, but the battle in front still going between Penske and the Zombie. It won't be too long before I'll be joining that party as well. You can see there, this is probably the group I was going to be battling with, well, the guys in front there. But Zombie has a move up the inside of Penske. There's a bit of contact. It brings Ben into this fight as well. He's going to get Penske. So he's lapped him now. And now let's see. Getting closer to Penske now. Oh, Ben's bottled it behind Zombie. I think he got caught out a little bit on the wet weather. That's an easy spot for myself on Zombie. Now we're really putting a lot of pressure on our Penske. I think his tyre wear would be probably really starting to feel the effects now. But just look at this again. This is on board with Ben, so they did touch again, these two. So, and then Penske allows Ben to go through here. And then coming into turn 3, I think Zombie was planning on letting Ben through, but unfortunately got caught up behind him, and yeah. I think he had a fair enough gap back to Ryan, who's now in 3rd. I think he's in 3rd anyway, but there's Zombie spinning out on the final corner there, and pretty much mucking up a chance to maybe get into the 10, but this battle's still on, even though we're getting close to the final lap now. That was that yellow flag I was mentioning about, so this will be our final lap, and there is lap car coming. It's there's another warning there. I've lost track of how many warnings I've got completely, so now Penske's coming to the inside line here, so we're going to have to go right around the outside here, but go way, way, way too deep there. And I had to hold off there and just let Ben go by again. Excuse me. So now Ben, I was hoping Ben would go after Penske and help me out a little bit so I can maybe get that final points position, but as I say that, I spin it on the curb, and yeah, that's pretty much ruined that idea. So it was going to be a really good race nonetheless anyway, had I not made no mistakes anyway. But there's Ben getting by Penske, so it wouldn't be too far behind had we'd actually battled to the end. But this is a real battle here. This is, I think, effect maybe for the podium possibly, or just the spots below the podium anyway. But look at Palm struggling a lot. Bit of contact between him and Jared. Now Jared goes up the outside, which is now the inside, and now around the outside. So you get my drift eventually. That he gets P4 off Palms. I think was really struggling there anyway. But here we go, come across the finish line. Coming sideways to finish in P11. What could have been? What could have been really for myself? But this battle's still going on here, and that's actually Iron Toucan that's spun out on the front straight. So here comes Jared. He'll finish in P4. Iron Toucan get. Oh no, there's Chaos coming across the finish line there. Look like those two are tangled. Is another view from it. So Jared manages to get by, and there's a battle with Matt and Palms, and unfortunately Iron Toucan was in the wrong place at the wrong time. But yeah, it's the same three amigos on the top step on the podium, with Warden winning comfortably over Ben and Ryan. So they spray the champagne again, even in the wet weather as well. So a great effort from those guys in the end. So what more could he say, really? They've pretty much been dominating this whole SRL season so far. So Warden, Ben and Ryan 1, 2 and 3. Matt, my teammate, actually did a great job to finish P4, so great result for him. A few more guys unfortunately just missed out on the top 10 in P11. There was probably a few more guys down the order, but you know, in the end, yeah, we'll just move on and hopefully get some more at the next round, which will be the British Grand Prix. So if you did enjoy it, be sure to give it a big smash on the like button. Comment down below on what you thought about that race. Subscribe to my channel for plenty more league racing content on F1 2017, plus plenty more video gaming content as well. All my social media links will be down in the description. My voice is starting to break, so I'll pretty much stop it there. But for the moment, guys and girls, until the British Grand Prix in SRL, it is goodbye, and I'll see you all next time.